time for Friday Night Flights. Now, here's Sports Director Bruce Rader.
As we move to the final weeks of the high school season, rivalries, homecomings, and playoff positioning take center stage with Halloween just around the corner. The fog gave tonight's games an eerie feeling. Would the unbeaten teams remain that way, and who looks good as the road to the state championship beckons? Let's find out. Friday Night Flights starts now. I'm Bruce Rader. Ocean Lakes High School is the 9th-ranked high school football team in America, according to the USA Today. But you can't underestimate Oscar Smith. Coach Richard Morgan's Tigers looking for their 79th straight Southeastern District win. Oscar Smith virtually tied with Ocean Lakes as the top Division VI team in the state. We start out with the most important play of the game for Oscar Smith. Third quarter, game tied, Western Branch. A field goal makes it 17-14 Tigers. Bruins get the ball. They were on the move all night, playing it safe with the cozy weather conditions. Running it into the end zone by Brandon Bird. The Bruins from Western Branch take the lead in the fourth quarter. Oscar Smith on the very next drive, throwing caution to the fog with a nice touchdown pass. Sean Mitchell to Josh Gray. Oscar Smith with a nice air attack regardless of the weather. The Tigers take the lead back. Things get interesting with the extra point attempt. Bad snap. The kick doesn't happen, but the Tigers recover, making it 23-21. 4.5 minutes to go. Western Branch tries to rally, but gets stuffed on a fourth down play by that great Oscar Smith defense. They hold on to beat Western Branch 23-21 in the closest game of the night. Meanwhile, because of the rain delays, Indian River playing its third game of the week, the third-ranked Division 5A team in the state taking on Deep Creek. The Hornets came out with plenty of injury during the first half tonight. The Deep Creek defense looking pretty good, holding back Tyree Gibbons-Wilson to a few completions in the first half. And the cheerleaders were working the crowd, even in the cool weather. Givers-Wilson did connect, though, with Kyron Best for a tiptoe catch, but was just swamped by that Deep Creek defense. The only touchdown in the first half was, of course, by the Indian River Braves. Watch the pass from Tavante Beckett. Indian River picks up steam in the second half and would shut out Deep Creek 35-0. A pair of 5-1 teams hooking up in Suffolk. Grassfield, 9th in the 6A South rankings, making the trip to Kingsport, number 5 in the 4A East. Kingsport without star running back Deshaun Wevington, so they turn to Darren Butts in the second quarter. Big chunk of change well into Grassfield territory. The Bulldogs will finish it off with a touchdown. Eventually, where is he in the fog? Oh, there he is. Grassfield still at 28-14 at halftime. In the second half, the Bulldogs trying to make a charge. They caught it up, and the senior Austin Winslow will end up with it for the Grizzlies. They get a field goal out of that turnover and then seal it in the fourth quarter when Swandell Joyner goes around the left side through the fog and into the end zone. The Grassfield Grizzlies winning 38-14. And look who we have with us tonight on Friday Night Flights, Wavy TV anchor Anita Blanton.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Anita.
Great to be here. That big game at Kingsport was one of our stops tonight as Chopper 10 made a couple of appearances in surprising Suffolk. I think that we had impeccable timing here, Bruce. Can you tell what was going on down on the field from high up above?
It's homecoming!
Yes, homecoming season is upon us, and we landed just in time to see the new king and queen at the home of the Bulldogs crowned. Then, you know, I had to spend a little time with the cheerleaders, throwing out some wavy footballs to the crowd. It's a special night for everyone here, and besides the team on the field, we stole a few moments with the other stars of the show.
I feel like I accomplished something. I feel like I just want to thank my peers because, like, I realized that they really were looking out for me and they do, you know, feel good vibe for me. So thank you to them.
How did it feel when they announced your name?
It felt good. I didn't think I was gonna win. I'm just thankful.
Congratulations to the both of them. There was definitely a great spirit in the atmosphere at Kingsport. I'll actually be back with them in 3 weeks to host their much anticipated Battle of the Bands, Bruce.
They've got a very, very good band, I'll tell you that.
They really do, led by a Hamptonian, yes. Now to the beach, Ocean Lakes, the defending state champions trying for its 38th straight beach district win.
You know, Ocean Lakes, again, the 9th-ranked team in the nation, and a favorite to win back-to-back state titles. Ocean Lakes defense, just as good as its offense. Opening drive, Tallwood quarterback Arian Wilson, picked off by Justin Smith, who's going to score on the 85-yard pick six. And, you know, Justin Smith, not only does he play great defense, he plays good offense as well. Here he is. You know, anybody on this team can score. Justin does, and the route was on. Ocean Lake scores. They go for the onside kick. They recover and score again, it seems. Quarterback Tyler DeSue, who shares the position with senior Cody Cunningham, is going to go to Jermaine Trotman there, who goes all the way for the third Dolphin touchdown. And we have to show a hit by Levante Taylor. He's headed to Florida State. Oh my, the crunch on Breon Taylor. I hope they're not related. Ocean Lakes would score the most points in school history tonight, 77-0. That was the final over Tallwood. So who scores more than 70 points? Well, how about our next team? Undefeated Lake Taylor, the #1 team in the 4A East, with a very good chance to repeat as state champions. On the road against Wilson, Desmond Palmer, the senior, going all the way for a touchdown. And then Palmer says, I'm not finished. How about an easy walk home? It was 34-0 after just the first quarter. Wilson playing with injuries all over the field. They just didn't have enough to take on Lake Taylor tonight. There goes Deion Smith for another Titan touchdown. Lake Taylor over Wilson, 74-0. And still to come, the Salem Sun Devils head coach Robert Jackson here, going for his 100th career win. But would the Kellum Knights stand in the way of Coach Jackson's milestone?
And Chopper 10 makes another pit stop in Suffolk for Nansman Suffolk Academy's big homecoming game against Norfolk Academy.
We're the Salem cheerleaders, don't go away. Bruce and Anita will be right back with more Friday Night Lights.
Salem High School Marching Band, under the direction of Brian Webb, the Friday Night Flights Band of the Week.
They're great. You can see their entire performance, and it's a good one, on Wavy.com. And while you're on Wavy.com, there are slideshows, top 10 plays of the week, previous bands of the week, past episodes of Friday Night Flights. It's all on Wavy.com for you.
And stay connected with us on Twitter. A lot of people are right this moment. Our handle is at Friday Night Flights, and use the hashtag WavyFNF. Your tweets could end up right here on the bottom on TV.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of Salem, it's head coach Robert Jackson trying for a milestone tonight.
What a great guy and a great coach. A win over Kellum would give Coach Robert Jackson his 100th career win, but you knew it wouldn't be easy. Salem's Malik Butt scores first as he splits the defense to help Salem celebrate homecoming, and then Salem would continue to pour it on in the first half. Tyler Watson Jones, he's going to go deep to Jaquan Wilson. That set Salem up at the 1. Of course, they gave it to Butts, who put Salem up 21-0. Of course, Coach Chris DeWitt at Kellum is never going to give up. The direct snap to running back Cody Elmer. Where is he? Oh, there's Cody. He takes off of a long touchdown. Kellum would come back with 30 points, but Salem wasn't going to let Coach Robert Jackson leave homecoming without his 100th win. Salem 34, Kellum 30, a close one. Salem a top 5 team in the 5A South. Homecoming also at Princess Anne tonight, and that's homecoming king Dustin Norton walking Queen Annie Fick under the swords. And tonight the Cavaliers trying to get over the 500 mark. They took on Green Run, third quarter type ball game. Nate Harden passes, gets the ball stripped by PA's Billy Baldwin. PA would score a touchdown and try to tie the score at 7, but the Stallions blocked the extra point to make it a 7-6 game. The Stallions defense pins the Cavaliers by the goal line and then finished PA off with a sack in the end zone for the safety, and a defensive battle. Green Run 9, Princess Anne 6. And one other final from the beach. Bayside by 12 over Lansdowne. Cox, by the way, will play First Colonial tomorrow afternoon. All right, Anita, time to check in with the private schools.
Yeah, this was a first for me. So 2 years ago, I was in Virginia Beach. Last year for Friday Night Flights, I was in Norfolk. Tonight, Chopper 10, we were making our rounds through Suffolk, and this is the view from Nansman's Suffolk Academy's homecoming game against Norfolk Academy. NSA was winning pretty handedly while we were there, so the cheerleaders took a break from helping the team score to help me throw out some of our footballs to the crowd, and what a great crowd they had. The school is very unique. In fact, I talked to their band director about one really interesting and entertaining aspect of their games that sets them apart.
We are the only marching band from an independent school in this area, which is incredible. And I think for our band, they sound awesome, they look awesome, just really proud of them.
Pretty cool stuff, and the fans heard the band play great and often due to the Saints offense. We pick up the action in the second quarter here. Saints in blue, running back Graham Moore, you saw him right there, gets the handoff and goes 47 yards for the score. The Saints offense was not done as running back Noel Giles scores from 12 yards out, and the Saints beat Norfolk Academy 42-7 on homecoming.
That was a big game last night. Lafayette once again with a dominating team with arguably its toughest matchup so far this season against Poquoson. Opening kickoff for Lafayette. Kyle Johnson takes it all the way down to the 6-yard line, and that would lead to a score. Then Lafayette gets on the board again. Caleb Cragenbrink ducks through the line, 58 yards for the touchdown. Lafayette remains undefeated after defeating Poquoson 41-19. In the Bay Rivers, War Hill shuts out Grafton, and Jamestown snaps a 17-game losing streak, defeating Bruton 14-7.
Smithfield 33-20 winners over New Kent, and York defeated Tab 13-7.
Back to Portsmouth, Norcom winless this season, going up against a very good Norview squad. This one was all Norview tonight. By the time our camera crew got there, it was already a running clock, and that was bad news for the Norcom Greyhounds as Norview pitches the shutout, 63-0. That was the final. Granby with a big win over the Churchland Truckers. Maury 33-28 over Booker T. Washington.
Hickory with an overtime win over Lakeland, while Nansman River shuts out Great Bridge 39-0. We'll be right back.
Once again, the Salem High School Marching Band, the Friday Night Flights Band of the Week.
Just love them. Check out their entire performance on wavy.com.
I like that song. It kind of puts us to sleep here as we wrap things up here on a Friday night. Kickingham beat Warwick 35-12, and the Gloucester Dukes with an upset over Heritage 32-21.
Matthews loses to King and Queen, and Franklin 20-12. Winners over Sussex Central.
Bishop Sullivan beat Greenbrier Christian 36-7. Isle of Wight 55-7 over Fuqua.
Windsor Falls to Greensville County, and Hampton Roads Academy loses to North Cross.
The Norfolk Admirals lost their home opener scope 3-0 against the Wheeling Nailers tonight, Anita.
Yeah, and the Kansas City Royals took Game 1 of the American League Championship Series against the Toronto Blue Jays 5-0.
You have a favorite either way. The Royals, maybe. But the Mets and the Cubs, that's going to be good, too.
Yes, it will.
All right, the game of the weekend tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Darling Stadium, the Battle of Hampton. Phoebus, the #1 ranked team in the 3A East against Hampton High School. They're the #2 team in 5A South. But you know what? Throw those records out. It is
that game
right there, the Battle of Hampton, two unbeaten teams. Anita Blanton, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Friday Night Flights. Nathan Epstein will be here tomorrow and Sunday with the Weekend Sports Wrap. See you Monday, everybody.
Good night.